You're listening to My Part of Town Chattanooga, a podcast tour of our city by the people who know it best. Each episode features a conversation about a different neighborhood or aspect of life here in the scenic city. My name is Michael Crosa. Thank you for stopping by. This episode is sponsored by Trainual, the #1 software for SOP documentation and employee training manuals. Listeners can get 10% off their first month with offer code CROSA, but more on that after the show. At the point where the Tennessee River meets the Appalachian Mountains lies the town of Chattanooga. I would say this is a coincidence, but it's really not. The river creates a pass in the terrain that makes this a crucial spot for transportation. It's the whole reason a town formed here in the first place. Shipping and manufacturing was and still is a major part of the Chattanooga economy. Trains are a symbol of pride for the city, as evidenced by the song Chattanooga Choo Choo by Glenn Miller and a prominent downtown hotel by the same name. This is also why many of the geographical features are named after their function. For example, to the southwest of the city lies Lookout Mountain, which boasts a very literal bird's-eye view of the entire city. And to the northwest lies a mountain that was famously used by Native Americans and by soldiers in the Civil War to send signals by smoke and fire to the surrounding areas.
We start with an introduction. Hi, I'm Jason Gordon. I'm a professor at UTC, or however you want to.
Sure. Yeah. So, Jason Gordon, I'm an assistant professor at UTC, the best university on the planet. I'm an alum from UT Knoxville.
Okay.
Another great university.
Okay, but apparently not the best.
Well, they're a close second.
Okay.
Now, I just moved to Signal, so I know I'm still learning, but maybe that's what you're going for.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Jason is a work friend of mine, and life on Signal Mountain comes up often in conversation between us, so of course I invited him to the podcast. I met with him at his on-campus office at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga.
I live on Signal Mountain, just moved. My family and I, we just moved here this summer. And we looked at a lot of neighborhoods, and we just kept going back to Signal. And we looked at a lot of areas around Chattanooga, and we just kept going back to Signal.
How come?
I was kind of raised, I say the mountains, but in the foothills of Appalachia, so from Jackson County, West Virginia. And it's beautiful. I just think about East Tennessee has that same kind of feeling, right? Fall colors, the steep slopes. Just there's a feeling of home there. Signal very much represents that for me. And there's just something about once you drive up there. We looked at a couple properties up there, late spring, early summer. And we just loved the drive. And even then I was thinking, man, in the fall of the year, this place, the view is going to be amazing, right? Just driving off the mountain. And the views did not disappoint. When the leaves changed, when the leaves fell this fall, it was, something about that reminds me of home.
Yeah.
So, naturally, I moved my family here. It's our home now.
Yeah.
It's felt like home. It's a great community, too.
That's awesome.
On a nice day in late January of 2023, I was having lunch with a friend of a friend at Universal Joint downtown. It turns out that she also lives on Signal Mountain, so she very graciously agreed to sit in my car outside of the restaurant and answer a few questions.
Yeah, I am Marcie Beasley, and I have lived here in the Chattanooga area for 20 years, and I've been a Signal Mountain resident for 16 years.
What brought you and kept you to Signal Mountain?
So my husband and I lived in the downtown and Brainerd area before I found out I was expecting my first child, which was back in 2006. And when we started thinking about the community we wanted to raise our family in, started researching the local school systems, small town feel of areas that were also fairly close to where we worked. We've both always worked in the downtown area. And so we looked at Signal Mountain really based on the school system to start with.
Nice.
Jason had talked so much about the natural beauty up there, so I asked Marcie about her take on it.
That's just an added bonus. It's a gorgeous place to live. There's a lot of hiking trails. They have a little dog park there, but really we're not mountain bikers, but it's a mountain biker and hiker's dream. We actually live a little further back on Signal Mountain now, and our property joins Prentice Cooper State Forest.
Okay.
So there's a really famous, locally famous hiking trail called the Edwards Point Trail, and I actually live off Edwards Point Road, so it's really a fun place to take my dogs for an afternoon walk, especially when it's pretty and sunny outside, and of course it's just beautiful in the fall.
Nice.
Signal Mountain is a big place, and it's really even considered its own town. But it's also not that far from Chattanooga.
So it really depends on where on Signal you live. We actually, when we first moved to Signal Mountain, we lived, there's, the front of the mountain, the back of the mountain, the middle of the mountain.
Okay.
So if you live toward the front of the mountain, which is where we used to live, was considered the Palisades area, and we could be to downtown Chattanooga in about 15 minutes. Now where we live, it's probably a little closer to 20 or 25, but from most Signal Mountain residences, you can be downtown in, 15 minutes to the max 30 minutes.
Hi, my name's Leah. Hi, my name's.
You don't even have to.
Okay, don't look at that. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we start that over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take it in.
See, I don't know. I don't even know why this should be nerve-wracking, because I don't mind just talking to people.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just the microphone there
Right.
throws me off.
That's my friend Leah, and she's probably going to kill me for leaving that in when I said that I wouldn't. But here, we'll do it for real.
Hi, my name's Leah Dimino, and I'm a real estate agent at Keller Williams in downtown Chattanooga, and I'm on the Auburndale team.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. You live on Signal Mountain?
I live on Signal Mountain. I've lived there for about 4.5 years now.
Cool.
And I moved there from the Seattle area, so it feels like a total vacation living up there. It's absolutely beautiful, and it has all trails several minutes away from our house, and some good restaurants and a great little boutique grocery store.
And this grocery store is one of the most universally loved places in Signal Mountain.
Pruitt's. Yeah, you just got to go. I need to take you there sometime.
Yeah,
You
I'd love
got to
to.
experience Pruitt's.
They have a deli and a little coffee area.
And then they have a really charming little outdoor space where they have movie nights for kids and sometimes live music.
You and I need to go for a pizza and a beverage.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll splurge on 2 beverages and 2 slices of pizza.
Hope so.
Yeah, you just got to see it. It's great, and you'll enjoy the drive.
Nice.
Yeah, well.
So let's talk about that drive. Again, here's Leah, the real estate agent.
Well, you could go up the front of the mountain, which a lot of people prefer because it's a little less scary, I guess, until you get used to it.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's also fun because you get to see the famous spaceship house on the way up.
Okay. I don't know about this.
House that looks like a giant silver spaceship.
Like
So,
from the 50s, like
yes.
saucer?
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
It's been there a long time, and it's just it's a staple of Signal Mountain. And then if you go up the W Road, which I do often because my house is a little closer there, there are some serious switchbacks going on, and you really have to get used to it. And then once you do, it's a breeze.
I knew about the W. I heard some folks talk about just working here at UTC. I have some friends that live on Signal Mountain, and so they've talked about the W. You got to take the W, right? And so the first time I took the W, we were leaving. We just looked at some properties. This was early summer, last summer, and we were leaving. And I thought, well, I had the kids, my wife, we're all in the car together, and I'm like, well, let's just go check out the W. Let's see what this is all about. And I knew there were going to be some switchbacks involved, right? I didn't know it was going to be extreme and steep like it is. It's a thrill. It's a thrill. Love the W. Love it.
I had also heard about the switchbacks and thought to myself, how hard could it really be? But the first time I went, holy smokes. The turns are so tight that the lanes actually just disappear they stopped painting so that you could have room to turn.
I think it was a thrill for a couple of my sons. They thought it was fun driving down the W that first time. I certainly loved it. It was fun. We weren't driving fast or recklessly, just the view.
You can always tell the people that are driving that have not done that before because they are terrified. So sometimes you have to yell out the window and kind of help them up. Keep going. You only have a couple more to go. I've had to do that before. Wow. So,
this is to me Signal Mountain in a nutshell. The sense of community that's there is present when you're driving down the W, because everybody will sit and wait, and kind of one car will then pass at a time around some of those switchbacks, some of those turns.
Yeah.
So we all kind of have this sense of community. We all kind of accommodate our needs while driving, and we know that this road is kind of narrow, and there are these switchbacks, and so we all just kind of wait in line and let our neighbors pass first, and then we all take our turns. No stoplight needed, right? No, nothing. It works out perfectly, and everyone that I've met has that sense of community there, and that's what makes the Signal Mountain a wonderful place.
So cool.
Among all those other geographical features that I talked about, right? The community.
Yeah.
Top.
the community is great. I haven't met anybody up there yet that I didn't like.
Okay.
Everybody's just really warm and welcoming and happy to be living on Signal Mountain.
Our neighbors, I feel like we've died and gone to heaven. Like, our neighbors are great. Kids, we have 3 sons, and kids all my sons' ages, all 3 of their ages, and they just kind of run around the neighborhood. It's like, as parents, we have nothing to worry about. It's a safe, we live on, kind of a cul-de-sac, and it's a safe area. Kids can ride bikes. Everybody's friendly and nice and kind, and there's a real sense of community there. Everybody's got each other's backs.
We all run into each other pretty often because it's pretty small up there.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's also just happy that when we have kids, the sport events are not too far away, and we're just kind of always together up there. It's great.
Cool.
So I have 2 sons that are 13 and one that just turned 16.
This is Marcie again, the one that I recorded with in a car parked along Georgia Avenue, so just ignore the lawnmower in the back. Marcie had a lot of wonderful things to say about the schools on Signal Mountain.
Right after we moved there, they built the middle high school, which has been that was really a huge draw for Shane and I moving up to Signal Mountain, because it really completed the community. So, I mean, there are a lot of kids on the mountain that do go off the mountain to private schools, but for us, just we're big proponents of public education, and my parents were both public school teachers, and so it was a dream for us to have a great full public school system right near where we live. And the Signal Mountain schools also get a significant amount of support for a nonprofit group called the Mountain Education Foundation.
Okay.
And so I've also become involved with that, and it kind of helps. It's a parent supported and community supported nonprofit that kind of helps fill in the gaps for a lot of what the county may not provide, as far as additional tutoring, Spanish classes, just a lot of community and parent support, as well as the great administration. I feel like is what makes the schools so stellar.
I would say people are usually first drawn to the area because of the school district. And then once they're there, they realize just all the beautiful nature that will surround you up there. And just how good the community is.
But yeah, it's, anyone interested in moving to the area, give a look at Signal Mountain. Schools are great there. The community, you name it, you can do it on the mountain. Fishing, hiking, sports. There's recreational baseball leagues, soccer leagues, you name it. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Golf, you name it. It's all there. No reason to leave. Groceries, pharmacy, no reason to leave.
Yeah.
Right. Well, to go to work and
Yeah.
contribute to society and such. Those things are important.
Yeah.
As I was closing out my conversation with Marcie, on a whim I asked her if she had any favorite stories to tell. Without missing a beat, she shared this story about a July 4th parade on Signal Mountain.
when my boys were little, they really wanted to be in the parade, and they had one of these little John Deere gators.
Yeah.
So when they were little, it brings back really good memories. We decorated the gator in red, white, and blue, and put a little speaker in the back of their gator, and they were in the parade. And that's what's so great about the Signal Mountain parades is anybody can join them. You don't have to have a special fancy float. You'll see people walking their dogs, streamers on bikes. Of course, you see local, Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops, and everybody joins in the Signal Mountain parade. And they've also have a really amazing homecoming parade. So that's one thing that's so exciting about now that both of my sons are at the middle high school. This is Signal Mountain Eagles, and the week leading up to homecoming, the Thursday before the game, they have a homecoming parade that the entire community gets involved.
Oh,
and
cool.
It includes a pep rally in the Pruitt's parking lot after, and so there's just a lot of really good community spirit.
That's awesome. Sounds like a really cool place.
Signal Mountain really is a cool place, and I want to say thank you to Marcie, Jason, and Leah for sharing your time with me. Now, if anybody out there is thinking about Signal Mountain, they want to learn more, or maybe even want to start looking at houses, Leah is a realtor, and I think she's a good one.
Yes, I'm a realtor at Keller Williams, like I said earlier, and if you want to get in touch with me, I would love to tell you much more about Signal Mountain and help you find a good spot up there. My email address is Leah Dimino at kw.com, but then no one knows how to spell my last name.
Oh, that's true.
How are people doing it? I don't know.
Leah's email, including spelling, will be in the show notes. When you talk to her, let her know that you listen to the podcast. And in fact, be sure to tell any of our guests that you heard them on the show. That sort of thing helps us know that people are enjoying the podcast and are loving Chattanooga just as much as we do. So thanks for listening to this episode about Signal Mountain. We'll see you next time on My Part of Town, Chattanooga. My Part of Town Chattanooga is sponsored by Trainual, a software which helps small businesses scale and grow by providing a platform for training and process documentation. Trainual eases onboarding so that employees can get up to full speed faster and so that you can spend more time on what matters most. One of my favorite features is Trainual tags, which are these little thingies that you can boop with your phone and bring up a specific Trainual page. So for example, a print shop owner could put one on a piece of equipment so that the employees always have an easy reference for how to use it. Trainual is a crucial tool for any growing business, so I highly recommend it. That's Trainual, like training manual. Get 10% off your first month with offer code CROSA. That's my last name, C as in Charlie, R-O-S-A, for 10% off your first month. Sign up for your free trial now at trainual.com. Thanks for listening to My Part of Town Chattanooga. Our theme song is Chattanooga Skiffle by Lon Eldridge. Be sure to subscribe and find us on social media so that you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you, so to tell us what makes this city special or to learn more about what you've heard, send me an email at mpotchattanooga@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening. I can't wait to tell you more in our next episode of My Part of Town, Chattanooga.